Hey guys, welcome back to my whiskey world. I'm Harry. Today we're gonna be reviewing a super heavily peated whiskey. It's right here, the Octomore super peated whiskey. Very peated. Now, before we talk about it, before we tried it, maybe we talk a little bit about peat. I think peat whiskey is getting very popular nowadays. You know, in the old days, people like to drink the ex bourbons. They like to drink the ex sherry. They like the different flavor. But recently, in the last maybe 10 years, especially in Asia, surprisingly, because in the old days when people try to introducing whiskey to Asian people, especially to countries like Japan, in the old days, no one liked peated whiskey. That's why Nika whiskey didn't sell well at the beginning. Actually, that's why Suntory actually become more popular, like the Hibiki, like the Yamasaki. You know, the smooth type of whiskey that Japanese people started fall in love, and then start moving to other parts of Asia, to Taiwan, to China. But you know, just in the last maybe 10, 15 years, peated whiskey started to get introduced again back to these countries. And for a lot of whiskey beginners, if I give you a peated whiskey or even this super heavy peated whiskey as your first experience of whiskey, you'll be like, yuck, what is this smell? It smells horrible. It smells like those sanitizer in the hospitals, in the clinic. You probably would just feel disgust. And that was my one of my first experience with peated whiskey. But the more I had whiskey, the more I tried different type of whiskey, and the more I start to enjoy peated whiskey, because not every peated whiskey have the same amount of peat. Now, peat is actually, they dig from the soil, and the soil is actually composed with a lot of decomposed organic, like plants, even animals, for hundreds of thousands of years. And the Scottish used the peat to smoke the barley, and they actually the peat went into the barley when it's smoking, when it's maturing, during the process. And they somehow find that a different area of peat make different characteristic of this whiskey. And people always think that only Islay whiskey are peated. Actually, not true. The whole the whole Scotland, they all have peat. Okay, different area have their different type of peat, and different areas peat actually bring out a different type of characteristic. But Islay is very famous for their peat, because the peat tend to be a bit more maybe heavier, more character. So we know a lot of Islay whiskey, for example, Bowmore, Bruichladdich, you have the Lagavulin, and the other ones. But today we want to talk about Octomore. Octomore is from Bruichladdich Distillery. Bruichladdich is known for Islay whiskey, yes, but they are known for very light peat whiskey. Now, peat is determined by the phenols, or parts per million, into this liquid. And a lot of whiskey. Let me give you some examples. Okay, for example, some of the more well-known whiskey, like the Springbank, their ppm, we call it parts per million, is about 7 to 8. So when you drink Springbank, you can taste a little bit of peat, which is very enjoyable. Ben Romac is only 8. Okay, level 8. Highland Park, which is the Orkney Island, the P is 20. Even it's not an Islay, its P level is 20. Bowmore is 20 to 25. Talisker is 25 to 30. Okay, Koila, another Islay, which is about 30 to 35. And Arbec is so popular nowadays. Its P level on average is higher than any of these guys. It's about 55 to 65. Okay, so that gives you an idea of of the peat level whiskey. Okay, and what is considered as heavy peated whiskey? Anything that's above 30 ppm is considered heavily peated. But today, I bought this one at duty free in Taiwan. This one's ppm is 156. Remember I said anything above 30 is heavily peated, but this one 156. Now Octomore has many different versions of their whiskey. The one I have is 9.2. Now 9.2 is you can only buy in airport, and it says it's conceived, distilled, mature, and bottled on chill, filtered, and coloring free in Bruichladdich Distillery, Islay. And it's a cask strength. All the Octomore cask strengths at alcohol ABV at 58.2, which is quite nice. Okay, and let me give you a little bit background about this 9.2. Now, like I said, every version have their own different different cask, different composition, different maturity. Now this one, okay, let me read this. It's maturely only for 12,000 bottles available. Okay, they always say it's limited, but it's quite a lot anyway. Okay, I remember this is a 5-year-old. It's only 5-year-old. It's in ex-American whiskey cask for 4 years, and then second fill in Bordeaux red wine cask. Okay, second fill in Bordeaux red wine cask. So I'm expecting to be very peated, but at the same time, I expect it to be quite fruity because the red wine cask. Okay, anyway, let's give it a try. I love the color. I love the bottle. And look at the color. It's very amber. Quite nice. And again, this is natural coloring. Immediately you can smell that peat, man. I'm telling you. Too bad you're in the camera. I'm outside the camera, so I can smell it. You can't. But it's right away. You know, every time I open this bottle of whiskey, my family would scream. They said, "Are you drinking the peated whiskey again?" Because the whole house could smell it, especially the Octomore. Oh yeah. It is super heavily peated, but when you let the peat start to get into your system and you smell it again, it's actually quite fruity. A lot of fruits that you can find in here. Oh, it smells super sweet. Very nice aroma. And also, I had this in several occasions, indoor, outdoor, and a hot temperature, in a cold temperature, and a cool temperature. Somehow they all give me a little bit different type of smell, different type of taste. Oh, very fruity. Yeah, it's peated, but very fruity. Mm. Oh, it's so sweet. It's very earthy. Oh, there's some plum. Oh, but the alcohol is so strong that you can really taste it. Hey, it's 58.2, which is quite nice. Oh, the finish is very beautiful. That's why he says that I think the the headmaster said this one is going to be a legend for a long time. You will see why when you have a shot of these. You know, if you talk about maturity, it's only 5 years. Talk about cask strength, the alcohol level is 58.2, right? And they say it's superly heavy peated. These three combination can make a great whiskey. And I tell you, yes, it can. But again, it depends on your personal preference. Some people will really, really love it. Some people will run away from it. But anyway, hey, try different whiskey and see if you can enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it the first time, it doesn't mean you will not enjoy it the second time. Try it again the second time, the third time. Read about it and understand what this distiller trying to make out of this bottle. And maybe you're gonna enjoy it as much as me right now, because the first time when I tried it, I was kind of scared, but now I really truly enjoyed it. Well, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure you click like and subscribe. Don't miss the next video. Cheers, guys.